beautiful, and welcome back to my channel and to the last video of Indie Week. I have been doing indie content this whole week. I hope you haven't been missing them. If you have a couple of videos that you can go back and check. I'm so excited about indie makeup, and I'm so excited you are as well. We're gonna do all of my indie makeup eyeshadow palettes in this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to see you subscribe to my channel. I do so many colorful looks, so many colorful things. I just love color, okay? Fashion, makeup, you name it. Color's my thing, but let's dive into this video. I did exclude a couple of like celebrity or big like influencer owned brand, even though they're probably technically indie brand. I didn't include them in this video for the sake of I don't know, keeping with the somewhat theme. I hope you're gonna enjoy this. The palette that's actually not included in this is something that I got after I filmed this, and it is the palette that I'm wearing today, and this is the Julius Place Valhalla palette. Valhalla? I'm probably saying that wrong, and I'm so sorry. But this is the palette that I have on my eyes today, and this look and some swatches should already be live, and I will link that down in the description box in case you want to see some of this palette as well, because it's not going to be included in the palettes. But let's dive in. I honestly don't really know how to begin this, because there are literally palettes high and low. I noticed that most of my palettes are indie palettes. Indie makeup brand palettes. So I'm gonna try and take them brand by brand. We're gonna go through all of them, but I'm not gonna stay too long on each palette because these are a lot of palettes. We're gonna start with Julius Place because I have almost all Julius Place palettes. Let me see if I can scooch this a bit. So these are the 4 mini palettes that came out. They had 4 mini palettes that came out. It is the berries, the nudes, the chocolates, and the violets, and this is also a hair that doesn't belong here. Okay, goodbye. The berries is my favorite. It looks like this. It is a beautiful berry palette, honestly so beautiful. I really enjoy the violets as well. It looks like this. I have made videos using pretty much every palette that I'm going to show you. Just assume that there is a video on each and every one of these palettes you are going to see. This is the chocolate palettes. Very dark and yummy. And this is my least favorite of these 4 for me, obvious reasons, and it's because this is so light. But maybe this is something that really is appealing to you. For me, this isn't really what I'm looking for. Then we have some of these, like, I don't want to say half small palettes, but you see they're not as big as, this is like the normal Julius Place 9-pan palette. And this is, I think that this is the newest of the ones I see here. I did order the absolute newest one, the Valhalla palette. That isn't here yet, so that is why that isn't included in this collection. There might already be a video on that palette up on my channel, to be honest, but do check on my channel. There might already be a video on that palette because it is on its way to me. This is the Nubian 3 Coral. This is a really nice half colorful, half neutral palette. Honestly, such an underestimated gem in the Julius Place collection. If you think that this color scheme looks like something you'd like, this is a really nice palette. I think a lot of people are sleeping on that palette. Then there is the Afrique palette. I know a lot of people got really confused by the blue background, and I will say I kind of agree with it, but I've had a lot of fun with this palette, and there's quite a few looks on my channel using this. It's a nice palette according to me. Maybe not my favorite palette from Julius Place, but definitely a nice one. This is the Saharan. This is one of my least favorite palettes. I don't really know why. It's just not that appealing. I really do like this Would-It-Be though. It's such a beautiful olive green. This is a neutral palette. This is the Warrior. This is like the Urban Decay Honey palette before the Urban Decay Honey palette was a thing. This is what that one looks like. This is one of my favorites. This is the Saharan 2. Don't sleep on this palette. Look at this shade. Oh, it's so beautiful. Honestly, one of the best Julius Place colors. It's a peachy dream. Ugh, I love this palette. One of my most used palettes in my collection. This is the Zulu, the original 9-pan like rainbow palette. Beautiful palette. And then they came out, I need to wipe this on my pants. Then they came out with this one more rainbow palette. This is the Warrior 3. Look at this beautiful like front. This is so pretty, and the inside is very colorful and very bright. This is a really nice palette as well. I do have a video using, why am I saying this? I have videos using all of them. Love this one. This is the Festival. This has such a nice red. One of the most favorite reds I have in my collection. Honestly, like, look at that red. One of my most... Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I have to... Oh my god. I need to not swatch so much. One of my favorite reds in my collection. These two together, by the way, make a stunning look. Favorite Julius Place palette to this day. This is the Tribe. Look at this. So pretty. This is such a nice palette. And I really love all the looks I've ever done with this. Love this. So much variety, so much depth. I love that there are 5 mattes. Beautiful palette. This is one of my least favorite palettes from Juvia's, and not that I like dislike this one. It's just this isn't my favorite. This is the Deuce or the Douce. Nobody knows how to say this. This is a beautiful violet pinky duochrome. Really pretty. Maybe I can just show you. Really, really bright, striking. Like, I hope you can see. Maybe you can't. It is a stunning, stunning duochrome. I don't know if you can see. Maybe my finger. It's a really nice pinky sheen. This is the... I think this is the oldest palette. I keep forgetting that this is the oldest because this isn't the oldest in my collection. I bought this later. This is the Nubian 2. Pretty dark, pretty neutral palette, but really nice as well. And then we have the 2 big ones. Let me scooch them out. This is the Magic. I keep coming back to this palette and using like 1 or 2 shades and different looks. There are just so many nice like shadows to complement other looks. I have been having so much fun with this palette. And then this is the oldest palette to me. This is the Masquerade. This is the first Julius Place palette that I bought. Still think that this is such a pretty palette. Now let's get into Nabla, because I do have every... Stop it! Stupid table. I have every palette that Nabla has released. These are the Cutie palettes, the little 6-pan palettes. This is the Nude. This is the one that's an all beige nude. I still have these for reference. I will say that that nudie one is my least favorite. And then we have this one that's coral. This used to be my favorite, but I think that this new one, the Wild Berry, is my favorite now. It's so pretty, and this beautiful duochrome here. This Metropolitan has a beautiful cover. I think that this is very similar to the coral one, and I like the coral one a bit more. I think this is my 3rd favorite one, the platinum one. It's just so beautiful and unexpected, and just... This is like the neutral palette that excites me. Yummy, dark, smoky, cool toned. This is the first like pre-made palette that they came out with. This is the Nabla Dreamy number 1. It is like a neutral pinky mauvey palette, and then they came out with this one, the Soul Bloomy. Also a pretty neutral palette, but more color, and these really nice like purpley periwinkle lavender tones. And then they started with these more duochrome shades. Really pretty. I think that they came out with the Poison Garden after that. This is my least favorite Nabla palette. Never mind, because I don't like the quality of this one. There's something about these shadows. They're not the same quality as Nabla usually is. I don't know why, but there's something about these. They don't, according to me, work the exact same. Then they came out with the Secret palette. I have been really enjoying this palette. I think that this is such a nice palette. I've been having so much fun with this. I enjoy these shades a lot. And then the newest palette, well, before the Cutie palettes, this is the Dreamy 2. This is the one they came out with for holiday, right? Really, really dark and sultry neutral palette that has a lot of depth. If you are looking for a smoky palette for like an evening look, look no further. This is a really nice palette. Let's look at my Glamlight. I really enjoy Glamlight, but right now I only have 4 palettes from them. This is the Miracle palette. This is the one that I had in my Tribe Beauty box. It's a beautiful pinky berry coral palette. A really stunning palette. And then this one is the oldest one in my collection. This is the Caliente one. Very bright and fun palette. I'm still holding on to this one because I just think it's so much fun. And then the Taco palette. I love the Taco palette. This is not too big. I am still waiting for the Street Taco. It's on its way to me. Oh, look at this. And I might get the donut one as well. This is so bright and fun. So bright and fun. I love that this only has like 3 or 4 neutrals and the rest are colorful ones. Such a beautiful palette. And I'm still keeping this in the Easy Bake Oven because I think it's so cute. This is the Cake palette. Come out and play. And this is what she looks like. This is just such a fun and bright palette. Oh. I still have so much fun with this. It's just such a stunning palette. It's just so pretty. I need to wash my hands. The green doesn't swatch so good when you have sweaty palms, apparently. Just a stunning palette. I highly recommend anything from Glamlight, to be honest. I think they have a very creamy and beautiful metallic formula and really nice mattes that work really good on the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands and then we can get into, I think I have some European indie brands we can go through. Okay, I have all of the European ones in front of me, I think, and then I'm gonna go through a couple of more that are non-European. Let's start with September Rose. This is the oldest palette that I have from September Rose. This is the Slush 1. I do have a code with September Rose to save some money. I will leave that down below. This is a beautiful rainbow palette with so many bright fun colors. Really nice palette. And then they came out with the Slush 2, and this is all matte to really complement and bring some even more shades if you wanted an all matte rainbow look. Look at these two shades, so yummy. And this is such a beautiful, so fiery, half colorful, half neutral palette with all of those brights, like sunset colors, together with those neutrals to really bring you a super spicy, fiery neutral palette. Actually really enjoyed this one as well. And then we have this one. Let's just quickly go through this pile because this is the Blush Tribe pile. This brand is no longer available. They are closing down. She did say she was come with another brand instead because she felt reinvigorated, I think, by the response of her shutting down. So I think she decided in the process of shutting down that she's going to come up with a new brand. I mean, that's exciting. This is the Hasina 1. A rainbow palette with a mix of shimmers and mattes. This is pretty mid-tone. This is really nice if you're more of a lighter skin tone, I would say. This is the original palette, the Blossom palette. This has a mix of brights and pastels. This is an all matte palette. This is the Munasa palette. This is so bright and fun. Oh, this is so yummy. This is a mix of like darker, more jewel tone colors together with more bright like rainbow tones, and then this almost like neon-y pink down here. This is one of the newest one. This is the Pastel Tribe. This one has a mirror as well. You can see my sexy striped t-shirt. Look at this Mimo bright green. I've used this a couple of times. It's super pretty. This is also one of the new ones. This is Lila. This is an all green palette, also really pretty. This is the one that made them like put her on the map. This is the Hasina 2. I still love this color combo. It's so pretty, and this palette has so much dimension, like light shades, mid-tone shades, mattes, dark ones, brights, more muted colors. You can really go a lot of ways with this palette. It's a shame that this one will no longer be available. And then this is the Fall Fusion. This palette is pretty cool because this one right here, can you see the Angelica shade here? It's named after me, which I thought was pretty cute. I'm really honored to have a shade named after me. It's a really nice palette, and so far I'm holding on to these. We'll see what happens in the future, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what she decided to do. Since she just recently decided to start a new brand, it's probably gonna take a while until we see some new products. These are my certified palettes. I have 5 of them. Let me see if I can take them in the order of like how they were released. This is the Tropical Wonders. This is a all matte rainbow palette, one of my favorite rainbow palettes. You can see how well used this is. Really nice rainbow palette. I really do enjoy it. Then I think it was the Dynasty palette that came out. This one had like rose, so that you could do like monochromatic looks with 1 shimmer and 2 mattes, 1 mid-tone and 1 dark. I thought that this was a really nice concept. The shades are really nice, especially these greens down here at the bottom. Super pretty, and I love this mantle here. It's a super nice shade. Then Destiny came out. This is more of a like yummy dark. I remember the looks I did with this palette. I loved the looks I did with this palette for YouTube so much. It's so pretty. I even took this palette traveling. This palette has been to Japan. Then the Affinity palette came out. This is like the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette before it was like released, because this is like 1 year older than that. This, especially this corner here, is such a yummy toned down but still bright, yummy almost neutral fall-esque scheme. Super pretty. These two are so bright and pretty. This was a nice palette as well. I had some really fun things. And this one, the Affinity 2. This is that green and blue palette. Look at that. So pretty. This one is still available. It has 2 duochromes. This is slightly duochrome as well, and then a shimmery blue. Some really nice mid-toned light and dark tones. Really nice palette, especially this Albert here, this like grungy olivey green. Super pretty. Do you remember these palettes? I don't know what happened to Michaelu, but these were so nice. This was the Witchcraft palette. This is that... Stop it! This is that purple green palette that has a duochrome here. This one is also a duochrome. Really nice, dark, yummy palette. I did some really nice looks with this. And this Queen Bee palette is so fiery. These shimmers are bomb. This is such a good, like, metallic red. I really liked, and this is a duochrome pink. So it really brought these, like, this palette to a new dimension because you use a duochrome pink with these shadows. These palettes were both so good and so ahead of their time and so high quality, the artwork and like how heavy they are. I'm gonna quickly mention this one. This is the Zoeva Precious. Zoeva is a German indie brand. I only have one palette from Zoeva right now, and it is this 6-pan Precious one. It's really pretty. Do recommend it. I have 2 palettes from LaBelle. Do I only have 2 palettes? I feel like I should have a 3rd palette somewhere. Maybe I don't. This is the Color Splurge. This is a rainbow palette. You can't see shit. So this is a really nice and bright rainbow palette that has 2 more muted colors here and a black to darken it up. Really nice quality. And then it's the Magnifique palette. I feel like a lot of people would really get into this color scheme. I've only used it once, unfortunately, but I really did like the quality. So yeah, LaBelle is a really nice European indie brand as well to keep your eyes on. And then we have this indie brand. These artworks are so nice. This is Odins Eye, and this is the Solmåne. Let me open and we can see what it looks like. It is a beautiful, like, super bright, and I feel like this shadow here is so similar to how I see people describe lime chrome. I like every time I open this palette, I have to swatch these 2 shades. Super pretty. This is a Swedish indie brand. I've swatched this shadow so many times for you. You must be tired of them. Super pretty shades, and this is the other palette from them. It's called Elva. Can you see? This is like a mauve neutral palette, but these shimmers are just something else. I don't know how to explain them. They're just so special. Like, they do colors and shimmers so good. So yeah, don't sleep on this brand. It's such a nice brand. I cannot wait to see what they come up with. I know they told me that they have something coming soon, so fingers crossed it's something really, really nice, because I cannot wait to try more from this brand. I do have a code with them as well, like I said. I will leave it down below. I do have a code with OPV as well. I try to work with brands whose formulas I like, whose products I like. There's no point for me to have a code with a brand I don't like. I have been asked several times to get PR or to have codes or to do sponsorships with brands whose product I'm not that fond of, and then I say no. These are the 2 palettes that I have from OPV right now. This is the... I think this is the newest one. I also have some really... They have some such nice neon loose pigments. This one is called the Tropical Dreams, and it looks like this. It is like a green palette with some like orange yellow shifts, and it's pretty dark, so you could go pretty dark with this palette. I really like this shadow up here. It's so pretty. And then we have this one. I feel like this is like the Born to Run, but just a bit more color. The saturation is just turned a bit up. I did 3 looks with this palette, and the looks were beautiful. I love the looks so much. Really love to play with this palette again. It's just such a look at this blue. Such a pretty, like, look at that. Look at that. So pretty. So yeah, these palettes, especially the Spotlight palette, I adore the Spotlight palette. I think it's such a nice palette. Okay, I am gonna get rid of these palettes, and then we're gonna go into some more indie brands. I think I only have US-based indie brands left, and also, of course, Calero's. Okay, so I pulled up the rest of the the things here, and as you can see, it's quite a lot of things. Okay, let's start with let's start with the Ace Beauté ones. I did, what is this? Is that glue? Ew. I bought these Ace Beauté palettes. It was like a set. Let's see if I can move these around. It was a set of 4 palettes that you could buy as like a, I don't know, a bundle. These color stories are impeccable. The quality, unfortunately, is not, but I love the color stories so much. And fun fact, the person that created the color story, not the quality, not the shadows, but the color stories, is actually the same person that has created my banner on my YouTube and also my intro and my end slate. Her name is Rachel Coffee. She did this color stories, but the formula is unfortunately not my favorite, but she can't really be blamed for that. This is the Paradise Fallen, the purple one. This is the Slice of Paradise, which is like the rainbow one. This is actually a really nice rainbow palette. I just wish it was a little bit, the shadows are just a little thin for my liking. They're not horrible, I can work with them, they're just not my favorite. Maybe I should put it like that, they're okay. This is the Blossom Passion. This is one of my favorite color schemes, which is pink, peach, and red. Ugh, love that combo, and this ended up being probably my favorite because this is Classical Paradise. There's just something about this grungy harvest situation that's just so cool, and this golden apple is just such a cool color. So yeah, I'm still holding on to those because I think they're just so pretty. Let's talk about these as well. I have 2 of the Archeo. I don't need that, so let me put one to the side. These are the 2 palettes that Cleona has come out with. This is a Canadian indie brand. This is the first one. It's called Paleo. And this is beautiful. Such a pretty palette, and I have had so much fun with this one. It's honestly so pretty. And then we have this one. This is the Archeo palette. This is the palette that I worked with Cleona with, not to create the palette, but I did art, like I did an insert of the looks for the palette, and such a pretty palette. I've had so much fun with this one as well. And I'm of course holding on to this one because I mean, I helped them to do the looks. I didn't help them to do the palette in any way, but it's still connected to so sweet memories. I have 4 palettes from Pinky Rose. I like this formula a bit better than I like the Ace Beauté one. These were a bundle deal. These were, I want to say, holiday 2018. I think these came out like in between Christmas and New Year's. I think these are still available. This is a bit older. This is the Bright Lights. I bought this when I was in New York with Ricardo. It's a really cool palette. This was like pressed glitters before pressed glitters was common. I still don't think they're that nice, but I still love the other colors. And then there's these palettes. This is the Obsessed palette. I really like these palettes. I should really play more with these. These are so cool. So this is the Obsessed one. I do have looks with all of these palettes up on my channel. This is the Exotic Peacock. Look at that. Look at that. And look at this Risque. Oh, and this Provocative is so pretty. Such a cool palette. And I think that this one is my favorite. This is 80s Baby, which is me. I am born in the 80s. Look at this. Purpley cool tones, red, like some yellows, and then this beautiful coral metallic. This palette just has everything. This palette has my heart. It's such a pretty palette. I really should be playing with that one more, but for some reason I'm just not. Then we have the Ruby May palettes. Why do I have these in sleeves? I just don't understand myself. Let me take this. Why do you exist? Go away. You're gone. This is the Mood palette. I recently used this on my channel. This one has been repressed, that's why it's used. It looks a bit bad, but honestly, such a nice quality palette. I have an Instagram tutorial with this one as well. This is the Brights. It's a beautiful, small little rainbow palette. So cool. Look at that, like bright neon lime. So cool. And then we have the Vibes one. This color is always so pretty. This one is lacking some depth. I think I personally would mix this one with another palette, but honestly, I like the look of these palettes a lot, and they get to stay. Then I have 2 palettes from Shroud Cosmetics. These are now Shroud Cosmetics. This is the Creepy. These are still available in the new brand. They just changed the brand name. This is the Creepy Cute. The magnet. This is the pastel palette. That is the one that I would recommend if you only want to get one pastel palette. The quality is 10 out of 10, absolutely stunning. Such a beautiful palette. The only thing you'll be missing is a yellow. And then it is the Divinity palette. What are you doing? It's a half neutral, Half Colorful palette. Such a pretty palette. Not a dud in this palette. These are all good shades. I recommend this one as well if you like the color story. I have one palette from Lovelux Beauty. I actually did order some more palettes from them, but the whole situation that's going on worldwide has made the shipping a bit hard, so hopefully they'll reach me at the end. This is the Pretty Powerful palette that I have. I think that this is a really nice palette. I've played a bit with this palette. I mean, I think that these shadows are really like pigmented and pretty. I had personally not have a problem with this palette. I feel like these went on really nice, especially the mattes, and these more flaky shimmers you might need to either spray or use your fingers like these, but personally I didn't have any problem. I have seen some of my friends not been the best fan, although they haven't used this palette specifically, but I didn't have any problems with this palette. I do have a look on my channel live with this one if you want to see how it looks. I only have one palette from Nyqvist Cosmetics, and it is the Feral palette. This is the most, like, this is the palette in my collection that I paid the most money for, because I bought this palette before they lowered the price. I bought this palette before they lowered the price of shipping, and I also paid a lot of taxes on this because the shipping and the price of the palette was so high. So I ended up spending about $130 on this, which I'm gonna be honest, it's not worth that amount of money. But I haven't used this palette as much as I haven't used this palette as much as I probably should. I really like, I think that this palette is good. It is a good palette, but it's not my favorite. I know a lot of people think that this is their favorite formula, so I think that maybe when it comes to Nyqvist Cosmetics, maybe try it and see if it's your favorite formula. For me, it is a good formula, but not my favorite. It's definitely a good formula, just not my absolute favorite. I also have one palette from Nomad Cosmetics. It is the Until palette. I've heard that this palette, some people that have bought this palette after me, I got this as a gift from Georgia Harris when we did a exchange of makeup a couple of years back, and I said that I wished that this palette, I'm trying to hold this in a good way, I wish that this palette had some more mattes and that the shimmers are a bit crumbly. And then one of my friends said that she got this palette and she thought that the metallics were very, very creamy. So I think that they have reworked the formula a bit, which is really nice, because this was a okay formula, but I really hear a lot of people saying that they love the Nomad formula right now. So I'm really happy for them. I am definitely gonna try some more Nomad in the future. This is the Sandra Rose palette. This is a Australian indie brand. I got this palette in PR. It's a really, really pretty palette. It has so many nice shades. And again, I do have a video doing a look with this palette. I think I'm using the green shades if you're interested in seeing this palette in action. I do have some singles as well from Glamlight. Again, those are also on my channel. Let me see what I have here in my little pile. I don't think I have that much left. This is the palette that I have left from Max Up the Makeup. This is Sweater Weather. This is a bright, like, nice neutral palette with a couple of pops, 2 reddish pops and 2 greenish pops. One of the neutral palettes that I have kept in my collection because it's just a neutral palette that inspires me a bit. I really like Max Up the Makeup. They have really nice stuff. And then I have 2 palettes from Midas Cosmetics. I have La Dolce Vita, which is this kind of a rainbow palette. I love this like grungy teal here. It's so pretty, and 2 purples. Has a couple of shimmers, but mostly mattes. Look at those greens. I have worked with this palette a couple of times. I had no problems with it at all. And then we have the Smoky Glow and Midas Cosmetics palette. Ooh, I did get this in PR. Ooh, and I still have Hannah here. Hi, Hannah. And this is a very bright, I would say this is not really a colorful palette. Maybe I should have had this because I filmed a video with like a half neutral, half colorful palette, but maybe this is actually more of a colorful palette than a neutral palette because it doesn't have that many neutrals. I like this palette. I think it is a nice palette. I will say though that I don't think the mattes build that good on each other. So for me to make this palette really work in my favor, I have to start with the darkest shade and then blend out the edges with the light shade, exactly like I do with the Ace Beauté formula. I do have an Instagram video using these shades. I use the Dofa one on my lid, and I'm using that exact technique in that video. So if you want to see how I do that, I would say check out my Instagram for a tutorial there. Okay, I only have 2 brands left, and it is Melt Cosmetics and Kaleidos. So I have 2 of the Melt palettes and a couple of their stacks. I feel like these palettes, so many YouTubers got these. They're so pretty. This is the Myrte palette. This is their holiday collection in 2019. Beautiful palette. don't regret buying this at all. And this is the Vita part, and of course they make a skull together like this. And this is the Vita one. This is more lighter and brighter. I love that there's a coral here. This Mexicana is such a nice red, and these are so pretty. So yeah, I don't regret having these at all. I really want to get more melt palettes, I'll be honest, because I love the melt formula. Then I have a couple of stacks. Let me see which ones are... This one is for this one. This is the She's in Party stack. That's what this one looks like. I really like my She's in Party stack. I had a lot of fun with it. This is the Duochrome Peach. I think that this is a really nice stack. And then we have... I think that this is the... Yeah, this is the Lovesick stack. Let me just put this one here. This is the Lovesick stack. Let me see if I can... That's what this one looks like. This is the first stack I bought. This is the one with that red one when red eyeshadows were getting so popular. Really nice stack. I still think that this is so nice. This is one of my most used, I want to say, like, palettes in my collection. It's a really nice one. And then we have the... This is the Neon stack that came out before they made... Oh, this is a melt one at the bottom. Before they made that neon palette, this was the neon stack. These are such great neons, and it makes me so sad to see the bad reviews of the palette, because it's such a shame, because these are so good. Like, this stack is so good. I mean, it makes me sad to see that the palette is not living up to the quality that the stack had, because the stack was so good. Then we have... Is this the Baby Girl stack then? I think it might be. Let's take this one away. Baby Girl stack had 5 colors. I just recently made a video with this, like just shopping my collection, shopping my stash, using some shadows that I haven't used before. This is a really nice duochrome shade. I don't know if you can see that here, but yeah, I just recently used this on my channel. It's a really nice stack. And then we have the last one, that is the Blueprint stack. Come on, come on. And it's a half... This is probably should have been in the half neutral, half colorful palette. But yeah, this is... this has like... shades are half and half, which I thought was pretty fun with the blues. And then this is like a very peachy shade. And then the brown one is here. So yeah, I really like the Blueprint stack as well. I know that not everyone loves the melt formula, but I do. Love the melt formula, and as you can see, I keep buying from them, and I still want to buy from them, so it's actually one of my favorite brands. Now let's get into Kaleidos. They have these small palettes. They came out, this is the first palette that they released. This is the Deep Sea Luster palette. This is unfortunately not available anymore. This is what she looks like. It is such a beautiful palette with different kind of formulas, like shimmery, metallic, and just duochrome. So pretty. I can't even start to explain how special and beautiful this palette is. It's such a shame that this isn't available anymore, but I do know, and I don't know when this is coming up, but I do know that Calero Cosmetics is coming out with a new release. They have hinted that a new release is coming, and I don't think it's going to be this one, unfortunately, but something is coming from them, so do look forward to that. Look at this, so beautiful. And yeah, then they came out with the smaller ones. This is the Sci-Fi Green. Oop! This packaging. Look at this packaging. This is the murky green one. This is the one that's pretty close to that melt palette, the one Gemini. Really, really pretty palette. And then number 2 is the one that's a neutral palette with the pop of a metallic red. Super pretty. That silver is stunning. And then number 3, Astro Pink. It's like that berry palette with a like turquoise. That turquoise is a duochrome, a purpley turquoise duochrome. Really nice palette. And then they came out with this one that's called VR Neon. And this was the, I think this was summer collection, right? Super bright and fun. These are so bright and so fun. And those sparkly shades are to die for. And this is number 5, Electro Turquoise. Such a pretty color scheme. And like these shimmers, like I don't know what to like. Like you see that? You see that? Oh my god, so pretty. yeah, there's a reason for me really loving Kaleidos, and it's super good quality, really innovative and fun color schemes and packaging that is to die for. So yeah, that was everything for my indie palettes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below which is your favorite indie palette in your collection. Maybe I'm missing something, maybe there's something I need to pick up. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!